Hi, welcome to Cocktail Mode, the podcast where me, Andy, and my mate Dave take a retro game and try and pair it with a cocktail. Today's episode is on Bushido Blade, the 1997... it's reductive to call it a fighting game from Lightweight Studios under the Squaresoft name.
There were two of them.
There were two of them, and there are other games that try and do the same thing, but it is the only good one.
Some may disagree with you. Some speaking to you right now might disagree with you.
Hello. Wow. Let's do a bit of an overview, because you pointed out when we mentioned we're going to do Bushido Blade that you consider it a bit of a hidden gem still to this day.
I really do.
I think it might be one of those hidden gems that everybody knows is a hidden gem, so it's a bit difficult to say that it's a hidden gem still. But I'm happy to defer.
I found a thing today
Yeah.
that cemented this in my brain. Right? I specifically went looking up. There's a character in the game called Black Lotus.
Yes.
Who's listed as being Irish.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll have a look to see if there's any other Irish characters. He may well have been the first. I certainly can't remember any others.
Nina Williams.
Yeah, exactly. She was the first Irish character, as far as I can tell. But in Googling it, no one ever mentions him.
No.
I looked through Reddit posts. I looked through Game Rant posts about Irish characters. Loads and loads of people spouting loads and loads of characters in games, a lot of them within the last sort of 20 years. So at the time, Nina and... what's the other one? Is it Nina and Tina?
Anna.
Anna, that's it. Nina and Anna, the Williams sisters, not those ones, were the only Irish characters for a long... well, not for a long time, because it was only like a couple of years and then Bushido Blade came out. But nobody mentioned it. At all.
Interesting.
And you know there's always some smart ass who comes out of the woodwork after like 100 posts and just says, well, what about Black Lotus from Bushido Blade?
It's usually me, but yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's usually me if I see no one else has done it. But there's nobody even mentioned it on any of these websites that I found and looked through.
Wow.
So I genuinely still believe it is quite hidden. I don't think many people know it at all.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to measure, really, isn't it? It's hard to... it's a very difficult thing to judge.
You could look up sales figures.
I know it did very well in Japan when it first came out. Like, very well. And then it took a year to come to Europe, 6 months to come to America. And the reviews were mixed. I think that's one of those things where it's almost worse than being terrible, because it just kind of...
nobody wants to be average.
Yeah. There were magazines, as they were at the time, probably early websites who saw it for its genius, but there were others that were like, what the fuck's this all about? Computer and video games gave it 2.5 out of 5. Edge gave it 6 out of 10, but they always were pretentious pricks.
I hated Edge.
And it is another one of these games where even if it reviews really well, people pick it up and play it, expecting a fighting game of the era like a Tekken or a Street Fighter, and it's nothing like that. And I realise, as I say that, we haven't really talked it through in case there is anybody out there that hasn't played it. It's a weapon fighting game, Bushido Blade, one-on-one fighting game where... I was about to say the hook is that you can die in one hit, and that is kind of the headline, but it's got so much else going on that it's hard to boil it down to that. The graphics are rudimentary, even by sort of by PlayStation 1 standards. The sound and the music is incredible. The graphics are a bit ropey, but it's doing so much that I'm going to say it gets away with it. It doesn't get away with it. It's a pretty awful looking game, really, but it's got its own thing, and because of that, I've come to love it. There is a particular animation in it where it's sort of a semi cutscene of somebody running, and they sort of pivot at the hips in the weirdest way possible. It's just odd. Every single time to this day, I look at it and I'm like, I'd really... no, it's not good. But anyway, point being, it's a weapon-based fight, but you've got, I think it's 5 characters, 8 weapons or something like that.
Trying to picture the character select screen.
Well, we can go, it's Red Shadow, Black Lotus, Mikado, Tatsumi, Utsusemi, Kanuki. 6.
And then there's other boss characters that you can't use.
Yeah. And there are 8 weapons. So as much as you've got 6 characters, the characters all have their own physicality. So, for example, Red Shadow and Tatsumi are the smallest, male and female. And so if you give them a really heavy weapon, they act differently with it to where the stronger characters have the heavy weapon. And same goes for the smaller weapons. If you give Red Shadow, who is an ex-ninja, a saber, she controls more like a character in a more standard fighting game than anybody else in the game. She's got a backflip, sort of as she parts away, a forward flip. She's got moves because the sword is light and she's small, so she can jump around a bit more. And that's kind of where the game begins to get depth. And then you add on to that you've got your 3 levels of attack, high, medium and low, and then 3 stances with which to use your 3 levels of attack, high, medium and low.
Different combos within each stance.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. It is a huge matrix of components that make a mockery of the fact that there are only 6 characters. So there is one of the weapons, bizarrely, is a sledgehammer.
That's my favourite weapon. Do you know why it's my favourite weapon?
Is it because Tatsumi falls over with that one combo he does?
No. When you get to the end of the game and you're using the sledgehammer, the end boss that you face, as a completely scripted, will not change what he says, says, your sword is covered in the blood of your enemies. It's a fucking hammer! You've clearly not played Hammer Swordy before.
I mean, just for shits and giggles, you could hammer him in the head as he says that.
We should say, obviously, the fights, as soon as they start, you can move, you can attack.
Yes.
But the other character is sort of locked into a bow animation, and attacking before they've finished bowing or too early results in a hard fail game over screen, basically. Because it's all about Bushido and honour.
You have broken the code of the Bushido.
Yeah, but I had a great fight with the last boss earlier on where I had the sledgehammer. And as the fight started, I switched into the higher stance. He lunged forward, stopped just short of my face with his sword, and then literally just cracked him on the head, like bonk! One shot. It's like, disrespect my hammer. See what you get. But that's the way a lot of those fights can go. You lunge, just stab someone in the face, fall just short, and then they just poke you with a sword and you die.
I think it's at its best when it is tense and stressful, and the fact that you can die with one hit is like weighing on your mind. There is an alternate ending for each character, and to do it, there are several elements you have to meet, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the sort of the key one is you can't be hit at all. And the tension that brings to a fight is like incredible. When you get into the end, I did it yesterday, and through the sort of boss characters you pass through at the end, and my heart was pounding and it was getting poundier and poundier as I was getting closer and closer to the end. It is a brilliant thing. But the flip side of that, it can also be absolutely fucking hilarious because the stupidest things happen, and you just feel like such a twat sometimes. You go into a big long. I don't know, earlier I was like cracking away at this guy for ages, and he kept blocking, and the moves weren't killing him, they were just hitting him. And I did a move, it missed, and he literally just went poke, and I died.
Yeah.
And it is brilliantly hilarious, and you have to laugh at it, even if you're on. I reckon you could probably get to the 99th fight in the slash mode, and that would happen, and I think you'd probably still laugh eventually.
No, I don't think I would. I think I'd rage quit and never played a game again.
We're bouncing around a lot, but so there are several modes, as with most fighting games. Story mode is really the meat of the game. Then there's slash mode, which is this 100 fight challenge, and there's versus mode, obviously, and there's link versus mode. As a PlayStation 1 game, you can link to computers and play link versus, and in that mode you're in first person mode.
Yeah, which I've never played.
Well, I've never played it linked up, but you can play it single player.
Yeah, I remember playing it single player.
Yeah, and it was really weird how things changed. But yeah, I've never played it linked up. When I had my larger games room than I've got now, I had 2 PlayStations linked up for 2 different TVs, and never, unfortunately, found anybody who wanted to play it. Funnily enough. it's something that I will try at one point. But I think the first person mode, I think, is definitely more of a gimmick than anything else, because it's very difficult to play.
It's not suited to it, is it?
No, it's not.
In a game that has quite free-flowing 8-way run maneuverability, to restrict your view to just what's in front of you is kind of dickish.
Yes, absolutely.
When someone jumps behind you, you're like, oh, shit, what am I doing?
Yes. No, and it's what really interesting with that mode is that because you have these free stances that you can adapt through the fight, there is a little animated version of you in the top corner of the screen showing what stance you're in, and even sort of a basic version of what move you do. It's quite a clever way around it, but it just doesn't quite work given the complexity of the battle system. Great idea, but it just doesn't quite come off, unfortunately, which I think is why it's just a little... In one player mode, all you can do is like fight one person once. That's it. It's not even a campaign to it. You just have a fight and then you win or lose.
I wonder if the time spent on that could have been better spent making the textures a bit nicer. Or refining those models a little bit.
Maybe. I mean, I'm trying to decide whether it's a bad looking game or whether it has got its own style, and I think it's probably more the former than the latter.
I think it was a bad looking game when it came out.
Yeah.
This came out a year after Soul Blade. Which wasn't the best looking game in the world.
No.
But it was better looking than this a year earlier.
And the FMV sequences are horrendous in this, aren't they? They
look terrible.
Really bad. And I think especially when you compare it to that intro sequence from Soul Blade, compare that to the win sequences and the other sequences from this, they look appalling. I don't know what's gone on, but they're really horrendous. Who's your go-to, and with what weapon?
Black Lotus Rapier.
The cheesiest of all the combinations.
Oh, fuck off. The cheesiest. I think it just looks the best. His stance, because his weapon is a single-hand rapier.
Yes.
His other hand is sort of held back, like behind him.
Yes.
Like a fence of wood for balance and positioning and things like that. I think it's the most believable combination of weapon and character.
He's given it the full Zorro, basically, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And he looks a lot like Zorro.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, dressed in all black with a yellow belt.
Yeah.
And then like a mask, a bandana sort of mask. I like to think he's the Dread Pirate Roberts, because that's what he looks like. He genuinely does look like...
He really does.
Carrie Elwes from Princess Bride. And I think that's what the inspiration was.
God, I love that film.
Great film.
If you've never seen Princess Bride, stop listening to us and go and watch The Princess Bride. Please come back. But
yeah.
When you're not choosing him to fight as, have you got any others that you like?
Quite like Red Shadow.
Yeah.
I don't really have a preference. I mean, I sat today, played it through as Black Lotus, finished it in about, I don't know, say 20 minutes or so. Then I just literally picked the next person along.
Yeah.
And picked a different weapon.
Kanuki is basically your Ryu/Ken of the game. He is your very...
I think that's Tatsumi.
No.
The young kid.
No, I don't think so.
No. That's the thing, that there is no real, main character, is there?
No.
They're all sort of just lined up and there you go, pick who you like. I mean, Red Shadow, the female ninja, is like the first character on the select screen.
Yeah. Which
normally would be Ryu in the case of Street Fighter. So that's sort of technically your main character, I suppose. But plot-wise, it makes no difference who you pick. You fight every other character and then a couple of bosses.
Well, they do have their own story.
Ish. There's not a lot of story there.
They're pretty lightweight stories, and they also have the same central story. The story is that whichever character you choose, discovers that this dojo of samurai is actually a secret league of assassins, and tries to escape, and all the others come after you. So everyone shares that story, but they've all got other things that are sort of going on in the end sequence.
If you just had everything we've just said about, katanas and samurais and blah, 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 you think, oh, it's sort of, 17th, 18th century possibly. Nope, it's modern day.
Yes.
There's a level on a helipad.
Yeah, absolutely.
The first area that you fight in, regardless of who you are, is basically like a car park.
Yeah.
There's a chain link fence, so like a barrier. You're clearly on your way out. You're leaving.
No, it's a fascinating sort of world. Do you know what? Black Lotus does look a little bit piratey now, doesn't it? Now I'm looking at a little character thing.
I'm not being stupid. One of the things I've got, because I haven't played it continuously like you have for the last 28 years, I forget a lot of it.
Yeah.
So I forget which weapon goes with which person.
Yeah.
So I don't always get the extra little combo that the people have with their specific weapon. I know Black Lotus is the rapier, because that's the one I always used to play.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure, is it Utsasemi? The guy in the big trench coat has the sledgehammer.
Yeah.
I got that wrong.
No, he doesn't, but weirdly enough, Tatsumi also has extra moves with the sledgehammer. Weirdly,
okay.
Even though he is one of the lighter characters and doesn't really have the strength to wield it. But that plays into some of his moves. Like, he does a spinning attack, and when he finishes it, he falls over onto the ground from the weight of the net.
Yeah.
And he's got another one where he lunges forward and he like completely off balance when he finishes it. And it's very, very cool. But yeah, the way the different weapons affect the different characters is... It's not just a gimmick. It's not light touch. It's when you're doing the slash mode, it's kind of important. You have to use the katana, unless you want to make it particularly difficult for yourself, to go with basically one of the two bigger guys, Kanuki or Utsasemi, because when you block a move, you just basically block it.
Yeah.
Whereas when you block moves with the other characters, parry, not block. When you parry moves with the other characters, you get knocked back, and you've got recovery animation. Whereas the bigger guys just shrug it off, so you can get straight in with another attack. It's weird. The more I talk about it, the more I realise how in-depth it is. And even though I've been playing it for 30 years, I don't know all of it. But it's something about saying it out loud that just makes you go, shit.
If you sat down and tried to write like a review of it, you'd come up with things that you've probably forgotten, because you don't think of them when you're playing it.
Yeah.
You only think about it when you're looking back on it apart from it.
Yeah. And there's stuff that I know every game's got combos, and every game's got sort of moves that are more difficult than others. But it really seems to play that into this whole complexity. Like, my favourite combination of characters and weapons is Mikado and the Naginata, which is basically looks a bit like a pike staff. Might be Naginata, might be Japanese for pike staff for all I know. But
it's a halberd, basically, isn't it? It's a long pole with an axe blade.
That's the
on
one.
End.
Yeah. And she's got a move where she swipes down with an attack and then digs the end of it into the ground and then uses it to vault over the top of you so she can attack from behind. And it's about 6 button presses, and they're all got to be done with immaculate timing. And it's almost like like the game's going, look, if you want to do this really cool thing,
you've got to earn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You've got to fucking get this right. I mean, there's lots of that in it, and I think you're right. You can pick it up and play it with any character and do the basics and get through it, because the campaign is quite short and quite forgiving in terms of continues and whatnot. You can get through it and play it and enjoy it with only a basic knowledge, but the more you learn about any particular combination of characters and weapons, the more enjoyment you'll get out of that.
I think one of the other things you get out of it as well, once you get better at it, you start to stop thinking of it in terms of a normal fighting game.
Yeah.
So generally, your normal fighting game, you've got an energy bar at the top, you've got a time limit, you've got all these ridiculous special moves that you can do, and you just, as quick as you can, try and beat up your enemy. In this, you might just, from the start, just back off a bit and watch your enemy and just see what they do, especially in 2-player. 2-player is not really something we've spoken about, but yeah, you could literally just back off a bit and like sort of sidle around to the side and think, right, okay, if I move into here, I know this combo has sort of this distance to it. They've got that weapon, so they'll be looking to do this, and then you'd get a blade to the face and you've lost. Shit. Let's try that again. And then other times you just think, fuck it, I'm going to hold the run button, I'm going to run at them, I'm going to stab them in the face. And the fight lasts about 2.5 seconds.
Or hilariously mistime it, just run straight into them and knock them over.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. I think this is something that Bushido Blade 2, I think in particular, misses out. Is that in Bushido Blade, the first one, everything feels like it's got weight and a stance, and I say the effort of jumping is conveyed through the amount of button presses you have to press to jump. In Bushido Blade 2, all of that has gone. It's got the feel of a more traditional fighting game. It's like they looked at every single bad bit of feedback and none of the good feedback and then made Bushido Blade 2.
Yeah, they focus grouped it.
Yeah, they picked everyone who said anything negative about Bushido Blade and said, what are we going to change? It's a massive miss. I just wanted to go back, you talking about playing 2-player. I remember us playing it 2-player back when we were both playing it regularly and doing exactly that.
Yeah, just sizing each other up.
A fight start, like most other games, a fight starts and you're doing what they call pokies in Street Fighter, where you're just trying to get your distance and trying to fake people into stuff. No, you just stand there and might walk slowly to the left or to the right.
It's because at any moment you can just get stabbed in the face and die.
Absolutely. And we haven't talked about yet the fact that if you find yourself at any point against a wall and you try and do a move, you're quite likely to hit the wall rather than complete your move.
But also as well, if you're attacking somebody who's next to a wall, you yourself can hit the wall rather than your opponent and then get stabbed in the face.
Yes, absolutely.
So if somebody ever gets backed into a wall, I just run away. I give them a lot of distance, like, you come back out, mate, you're okay. There's a few areas you can fight in where there's an upper or lower ground element to it. There's like a sewer that you go into that's you fight on like a raised section, and then you can fall down into like the river of shit at the bottom. Which is purple, I think.
I think it's a well.
It's odd. It's an odd thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're fighting against the AI, they just sort of fall down it, get up, and they'll either climb back up to come back at you and fight you.
Yes.
That happens in 2-player. You're like, well, I'm not going down there.
No.
And he might not want to come up. So this could take a while. But again, there's no time limit.
No.
There's none of the trappings of a traditional fighting game.
No.
Which is one of the things that I love about it. It's one of the things that I was always really, really impressed by. The fact that you can have the start of a fight, you literally bow, then start your fight. You have to follow that code. You have to follow that sense of honour to allow your opponent the time to start the fight properly.
So basically what happens is you start the fight, your opponent will say something, and then they will adopt a stance. And as they adopt a stance, there's a sound effect, like a ching. And that is what you're waiting for. Until that happens, you cannot touch them.
But you can move.
Oh, you can move. I mean, and brilliantly, you can run the fuck away. You can... The whole environment is one big open space. So you start in an area, much like, one character's on the left, one character's on the right. You're in basically a car park, as Dave said earlier. And all of these other areas, there's a bamboo grove, there's a waterfall, there's this area where it's wide open and the wind is absolutely howling through it and it moves you around. And all of these are linked, and you can basically run away and go and fight in one of those places. There's a bridge, and then you can jump off the bridge and fight under the bridge. Yeah. And it's not like this is a level that you choose at the start of the game. You can run there.
Yeah, you have to run there. It's the only way you'll get to fight in that area.
Yeah, in the single player mode. Yeah, absolutely. After this weird sewery bit that you get to, then there are 4 different locations as it goes through. But yeah, up until that point, if you don't move, you'll have every fight in the same bit.
And think, shit, the areas in this game are dull. Actually, thinking about it, what's your favourite area to fight in?
Oh, I mean, I genuinely believe that everybody's favourite area is the bamboo grove.
Oh, really?
I just think the brilliance of...
The fact that you can slice the bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is fun.
And unfortunately, if like me, unless you're fighting with the naginata or the sledgehammer for that matter, any of the fully bladed weapons, as you fight, you do a move, all the bamboo's standing up around you and you slice through it as well, and it just falls and collapses, and it has no effect on the fight, but it's a brilliant thing.
It looks
good. It really is. But yeah, unfortunately, if you're using the naginata, you basically just clonk it. So I avoid it like the plague, because the naginata is my favourite weapon in the game. So what is your favourite, if that's not it then?
One of the bosses you fight on a beach at sunset, and I always thought, that's brilliant. That's straight out of a Takeshi Kitano film.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Famous for scenes by the sea.
No, it's a great shout. It is, considering all these other levels, there is obstacles and different levels and that. It's just a flat beach. And he's a bit of a dick, that character, as well.
Yeah, it's got like a double-bladed polearm thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lots of upward strikes that you don't see coming because they're instant.
Very, very quick, very long range. Just a bit of a prick.
I killed him in one shot earlier. He lunged forward and missed me.
Okay.
So I just stabbed him in the face. So yeah, you can fuck off. You can come at me with your fucking double-ended halberd thing all you like, but if you don't put me down, you're getting stabbed in the face. Yeah, one of the things I like is because, as you said earlier, you've got sort of heights of attack. You've got like a vertical slash, a horizontal or a poke, sort of forward stab, and then a low attack. With Black Lotus, generally speaking, people end up quite close to you at your feet, basically, as they die, because you don't have that long range that a lot of the other weapons have. So I just stand there like stabbing them. Because you've got a few seconds after each fight finishes and like, fucking die. I'm going to make sure of you.
If you take a hit to the head in a fight, in the next fight, your eye will be bandaged up. And for every part of your body, that's the same. And in the fights as you go, if you take a good blow to the arm or the leg, well, it's to the arm, you'll be fighting one-armed, which is, with some weapons, no disadvantage at all, because they're already one-handed weapons.
Yeah.
But with some of the bigger weapons, it makes a huge difference to your moveset. And it's all this complexity. I think it's the confidence to see it through. I think could only be done by as much as it had the backing of Square. Was it before Square Enix, or was it?
Yeah,
it
was Squaresoft at the time.
It wasn't. I think the confidence to be able to carry that through and create a game with this level of complexity could only have been done at this point where 3D games and 3D fighters were starting to be developed, and it was a new dawn of things. I think if you try to do it at a different point in a cycle, in a generational cycle, like towards the end, you wouldn't get anywhere with it. You'd get shut down.
I do wonder if they were just sort of left to it.
Yeah.
Like if Squaresoft just put up the money to like fund the running of it.
Yeah.
Running of the studio, and like, just make a game. We're still in the middle of making Final Fantasy VIII at that point, would have been fast approaching. So they would have had their own things to concentrate on.
They did seem to have sort of their fingers in some quite unusual pies. I've mentioned Einhander on this podcast a few times before. It's just a side-scrolling shooter. That's a Square game, and it's incredibly unusual as that sort of game. And I think perhaps they were just interested in doing stuff outside the norm while they were peddling Final Fantasy 26 or whatever it is.
It's penultimate fantasy. Squaresoft also published Tobal Number 1.
Well, there you go, right?
Which is the other amazing hidden gem beat-em-up from that era.
Yes. I would imagine they also published Tobal Number 2.
Don't think I've ever played it. I've never played Bushido Blade 2 until this week.
So, as you've just mentioned Bushido Blade 2, I'm gonna talk about something that's a little bit left field.
Okay.
There's a song called The Proto-Culture.
Right.
And it's by Del the Funky Homo Sapien and Chaos Unique.
Okay, I know Del. I don't know the other guy.
Yeah, KU, he normally goes by. If you go on Tinternet and you look up the lyrics to The Proto-Culture, which is a fantastic bit of hip-hop, by the way, talks about all sorts of old games and playing them, and it's basically the chorus ends with the refrain that we play the sort of games you can't rent at Blockbuster. But the lyric about Bushido Blade is Bushido Blade 2 with swordplay so accurate. And it is my theory, and without meeting Mr. the Funky Homo Sapien or Mr. Unique, I'll never know, but I think that's 2TOO, not 2TWO. Because Bushido Blade 2 has not got swordplay so accurate. It's got swordplay so fucking gimpy compared to Bushido Blade.
I'll admit that PlayStation improved. Come visit feudal Japan with me and Tenchu. Bushido Blade 2 with swordplay so accurate. Mega Man Legends, but I had to buy a map for it.
It is dire, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a step backwards. There's this complete lack of weight and feeling and impact to the whole game. It all feels, I'm going to do it again, lightweight.
I was amazed it's made by the same people.
Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it?
It seems such a backward step. I like to think that the entire development team of Bushido Blade 2 had to commit seppuku.
Which I thought you could do in Bushido Blade, but I don't think you can. Perhaps because nobody carries a small sword.
Tanto.
Thank you.
Or Wazakashi is the other one.
And then if you try to do it with your weapons, then you would get somebody trying to do it with like an 8-foot Nadachi, or in fact a sledgehammer. Yeah.
That I want to see.
I in my memory, you could press select during a fight to commit seppuku if you decided that you wanted to end the fight. I've discovered that what it actually is if you have had your leg injured, you can yield, basically.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah.
And by yielding, you basically kneel there, drop your weapon, and the other character kills you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, given the stakes in this quote-unquote story, yeah, they would kill you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's one of those things where it doesn't work as a story. If you take all 6 stories together, it doesn't make any sense, because in each one, you're the protagonist and all the others are the antagonist. Mm-hmm. And no matter who you choose, that's always the same story.
Yeah, main character syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. So as you play through as Kanuki, you're trying to escape, everybody else is trying to kill you. If you play through as Red Shadow, you're trying to escape, everybody else is trying to kill you, including Kanuki.
Kanuki has my favourite moment in all of Bushido Blade.
Is that the... I'm going to guess.
I think you know what it is.
Where there is one of the 3 bosses... Is it 4, isn't it? 4 bosses, 4 boss characters, is a woman, and she's normally got... Is it a katana she's got, or one of the other small swords?
I think it's the sabre.
Yeah, she's very quick, and she spins around a lot.
It's a thin, straight sword. I think it's a sabre.
And yeah, when Kanuki kills her, he just looks down at her body lying on the ground and goes, "What a waste."
Well... He says it in Japanese and the subtitles say, "What a waste."
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it's always, but when I played as him, we were getting an upskirt of her at the time as well as she lay on the floor. It did have
I think that might have been a fluke.
Particularly lurid connotations. So this plays into this whole thing about the samurai code.
Well, Bushido.
The Bushido code, yes.
It's in the name, mate.
Funny that. I read a thing the other day that said, because there is, as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. No, wait. As far back as I can remember...
I always wanted to be a pigeon.
As far back as I can remember, it was always, you can't... There's another thing we haven't mentioned. You can throw dirt in the other character's eyes to stun them, and just you can't do that. You can't attack before the fight starts. You can't attack them if they're on the ground. You can't attack them from behind. These are all things that I've always believed were the code of the Bushido. I read a thing the other day that says the only rule in the code of Bushido is you don't attack before the start of the fight.
I've played various games and I've read various things over the years to do with Bushido. And one of the things I read, I cannot remember where it's from, but there's basically a thing that they used to do at the end of a battle where they would go along and look at everybody's bodies, and you could tell from the wound that they suffered and the direction that they sort of had fallen if they were running away or not.
Oh, okay.
So if someone's been stabbed in the front, obviously they're facing their enemy. That's a noble death.
Yeah.
Anybody with a wound in the back was running away or had been killed dishonourably. So it was kind of this double-edged sword of, either you were running away or someone stabbed you in the back.
Yeah.
Either way, tough shit, mate. You're not getting a good burial. Bushido is a guide, not so much on how to live, but on how to die.
Actually, more of a guide.
Yeah. They're not really rules. I actually bought the book, The 5 Rings. Not sure I ever read all of it, but I've definitely got it somewhere.
There's some fascinating stuff in it. There's a great...
That's great.
The Way of... Is the film called the Jim Jarmusch film? Is that called The Way of the Samurai?
Ghost Dog, Way
of the Samurai. That's it. He's quoting it all the way through there. My favourite one...
That's a great film.
...is the one about, if you get out and you get caught in the rain, you can run around and try and hide under trees and under the eaves of buildings, and you're going to end up where you get into, and you're going to be stressed and you're going to be wet. Or you can just go, I'm going to get wet. I love that. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And
now you've started to say it, there's things come flooding back to me. There is a bit in there, something along the lines of, whenever you have to make an important decision, always make that decision within 7 breaths.
I think I've heard that one, yeah.
So as long as it takes you to breathe in and out 7 times, that's the amount of time you have to make your mind up about whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
I remember thinking at the time, that's a pretty cool way to think about things. Don't dwell on it. 7 breaths should be enough time to figure it out in your head and think, yes, this is the way I'm going to go.
And you get to get to 6 and you're not decided yet, you just go...
You just hold your breath for a year.
I'm just gonna... I just need to flip a coin. Yeah, but there's some really dark stuff in there. One of the major things in it talks about how at every opportunity you should contemplate the moment of your own death.
Yeah, like I said, Bushido is a guide on how to die, not
Yeah.
how to live.
Just so that when it comes, you're not that surprised.
But that's what made the samurai so effective.
Yeah.
They had already thought, when I die, I want to die facing my enemy.
Yeah.
With my sword in my hand, trying to kill the fucker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny, isn't it, how there was a fascination with this aspect of Japanese culture that has resonated with Western audiences. I don't think it's ever going to go away. So I don't think it's ever, as much as I would imagine now in modern Japan, it probably feels quite alien to them as much as it does to anybody else. It's like the idea of
chivalry, the code of chivalry.
Yeah, exactly, of standing up every time a woman enters the room and all this stuff that we don't do in the UK anymore, which my wife would love it if we did, because she loves all that stuff. And it's gone away, and I think that's probably the same case there. But this whole era, I think, because it's so alien in concept to us in the West, that it's always been a bit of a fascination.
I think because there's no equivalent.
Yeah.
There's no equivalent in Western culture other than the code of chivalry, which is about the only thing you could point at to say that's sort of similar.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any sort of like written, documented guide like that in the Western world.
I don't know much about it, but it sounds plausible. I'm not going to use the film 300 as my point of reference, that's for sure.
Exactly. You'd be hard-pressed to find somebody who watched 300 who's read a book. Join us for this week's incendiary episode of Cocktail Mode. Obviously, I mean a real history book.
So I'm hoping you're getting the impression, if you've not played Bushido Blade, that one, you should. You absolutely should. And you will have to put your rose-tinted glasses on to deal with the graphics. But I think that's it. I'm so in love with the game that I think it actually has... it's got its own look vibe. As much as I disagree with the concept of being completely objectively, this is a bad looking game. You put it next to its contemporaries and most of them look better in pretty much every way, in terms of the textures, the models, the backgrounds, all of that stuff. It doesn't look as good. But I think that allows it to do all this stuff. It allows it to have these injuries, the fighting one-handed, the 3 different stances, all this stuff. To jump in this game, you have to do a combination of moving forward, crouching, and then changing stance. That's how you jump.
I couldn't remember it. I sat there watching your gameplay footage thinking, oh shit, yeah, he's jumping. I can't remember how to do that. Yeah. And somebody did it to me. Somebody just jumped straight over my head and was behind me. I thought, oh shit.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to do that.
It's a very complex thing. And I think if the price of being able to do that is these, let's say, idiosyncratic visuals, then I'm all for it.
Yeah. If you can get past how it looks,
and
concentrate on how it plays, you can improve a lot of those horrible graphics. The character models are proper 3D, so they can be upscaled massively.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do with this game.
When I'm playing an emulator, I like to keep it as stock as possible. The game is in a box behind me. My console is over there, and it's plugged into a CRT TV, so I could have done all that, but I was playing it on my lunch break at work or after work, and it was just easier to set it up in an emulator and play it. One thing I recommend is putting scan lines on, because there is no anti-aliasing in this game at all. So the scan lines really help to break up, to smooth around those edges. I like a scan line anyway, because I think I own about 6 CRT TVs because who needs one? Why not have 6? I love the way it looks. I think it's beautiful, and as much as I don't think any emulator has ever got it quite right, but it's a good way to hide some of the rougher edges when you're playing on an emulator. Talking of playing on emulators, one of those games where bizarrely the original Japanese version is not the best version.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, it's a PlayStation 1 game, so you want to be playing the American version over the European version because you get the 60 Hz over 50 Hz. Doesn't make a lot of difference in this game, to be honest with you. But both the European version and the American version have blood in them. Whereas the Japanese version doesn't.
I mean, you say blood.
Red squares flying out.
Yeah, it's not recognisable as blood.
No, but on the Japanese version, it's yellow and it's not even remotely blood-like.
Didn't know that. That's weird.
So that was a censorship thing at the time. And another weird thing, which is very, very unusual, is that the European box art is horrible compared to the American box art. American box art is always the worst box art for every game ever made. I mean, that's broad, but I reckon it's like 99%. The Nintendo Life website quite often does a thing called box art duel, I think, where they basically go Japanese, American, and European artwork for the boxes. And the American one is like 99% of the time the worst one by quite a long way. Whereas with Bushido Blade, the European one's horrendous. It's, for some reason they've picked 3 character models to put on the box. They're not quite the character models, but they're not far off. Whereas the Japanese and the American version have got this really cool just white background with all the swords and all the weapons on there and a bit of Japanese text. It's very, very stylish.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's the thumbnail image we'll be using on YouTube.
Yes.
And everywhere. Yeah, because when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's a much better cover than it used to be.
And that is genuinely unusual that the European box art is as bad as the Bushido Blade one is. It's almost like they didn't want it to sell any copies. If you do own a PlayStation or a PlayStation 2, for that matter, or an early version of the PlayStation 3, you can pick up Bushido Blade for about 20 quid in the UK. Not an expensive game.
Do you know how much mine cost?
No, has it still got the label on it? Is this how you know?
No, I know exactly what it cost me because of what's written on the disc.
Oh, okay.
It says on the disc, promotional copy, not for resale. I got it for free.
Excellent.
I used to know a guy who worked at Sony, and they used to get like, sort of preview copies and things, and they'd have no box, no instructions, nothing, and it'd just be a disc, and that was it. And he had hundreds of them because they were literally they'd use them as coasters. Because there'd just be so many copies of stuff lying around, and just, oh yeah, another copy of Gran Turismo. So he basically just gave me a stack of them. It was like, hey, might as well have those.
So there was this game that Rich mentioned to us. Rich, friend of the show, he co-hosted a previous episode with us.
That you can't remember.
That I can't remember the name of.
System Shock.
System Shock. Thank you. He mentioned this Polish game that's in early access. I never actually got round to giving it a try, but you said you did.
I did. It's very good.
What was it called again?
It's called Hellish Quart.
Oh, that was it, yes.
Yeah, it's on Steam only. It's early access and has been early access for like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a very small development team. It's literally 2 people with occasional outside help for things like music. But it's brilliant. I'd really recommend giving it a go. It's very much a spiritual successor to Bushido Blade. It's very true to its historical setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's developed by a Polish team, so it's set in Poland in like the 17th century. But because of that, you've got believable characters from the period. So you've got some more wide-ranging ones. You've got like a Turk, there's a guy in there, there's a Scottish Highlander in there.
Right.
But it's very good. It's well worth a play. There's some brutality to it, which is just hilarious. Like, you can cut people's hands off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Very much Bushido Blade.
Yeah.
Very much positioning. It's not really about combos. It's not really about, like, traditional fighting game bullshit. A fight can be won or lost in one hit, quite often, actually. The character I played as to begin with has like a long, maybe 3-foot handle axe, but the axe head is really small, sort of about the size of your fist.
Okay.
I think it's a footman's axe, I think is what they call it. But when he jumps forward and like chops with it and like chops someone's fucking hand off, it looks brutal. It's like glorious to look at. It's really, really good. And for such a small team as well, the motion capture in it's really, really good. The level of detail on all the characters is really good. The music, if you've ever played The Witcher 3, is very similar to that. It's the sort of Polish, traditional sort of folk music sound. It's really good.
Hey, Dave, do you think I've played The Witcher 3?
I wasn't talking to you.
I did see a video of it. It does look very cool. It does look, and it does have that thing. Obviously, they're not listening, but I don't care. I'm going to speak with respect about them anyway, because as you say, a small development team trying to make this thing happen. Mm-hmm. What they need more than anything else, more than an animator, more than an artist, more than whatever it is they've already got, what they need is a project manager. Because to say your final game is going to release with 12 characters and have 17 characters in early access, that's called scope creep, my friends. You need to focus. Just focus and get it.
Their plan is for 24.
But their mission statement says 12.
I know. No, their mission statement says 12. At the time of writing their frequently asked questions page, they had 14 with 24 planned. So they haven't even updated that.
I trust Dave, and I saw some videos, and I trust that the game you're making is important to you and you're trying to make it the best you can. But I genuinely believe that early access is a bad thing. I hope it paid you enough to keep making your game. If what you're doing is taking on board feedback from people who play games, not people who make games, then you're doing it wrong. You focus, get what you want to get made, and I'll fucking buy your game. I don't buy things in early access for exactly this reason.
I normally don't, but I really wanted to play this.
Yeah. And now because you have, I can play it too, which is great.
Exactly. Yeah. Cheapskate. You got money for a fucking 3DO, but you can't afford a 12 quid game.
I mean, guilty.
It's worth pointing out, it is only 13 quid. It's cheap by comparison to a lot of high quality games out there.
I was sort of on the fence about whether I was going to buy it, and I was leaning towards giving it a go. Rich has got fairly good taste in this sort of thing.
That's what I thought. It came recommended by somebody who I trust.
Yeah. As I was going, do you know what? I think I'll give it a shot. I think I'll give it a try. I noticed that you already had it, so it's you've saved me 12 quid.
If I hadn't seen the message... You might have bought it first. I was reading the frequent asked questions earlier, and there is the ability to play it online with somebody who doesn't even own the game.
Remote play together, it's called.
Yes, yeah. Because it's very specifically within their own sort of mission statement, it's local multiplayer only.
Yeah.
They very specifically say, they admit in their guide that they've got on there, I know how to do this, 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 and this. The other guy knows how to do this, this, and this. Netcode is not one of our skills, so we're not even going to try.
That's awesome.
So yeah, Hellish Court. Check it out. It's really good.
It's been going 5 years, but it's not an abandoned game. It's just, it is, unfortunately, between the amount of effort it's clearly taking and this, the Demon of Scope Creep, it's just clearly taking a long time to do. Let's move on to cocktails. As is traditional, Dave, I'll let you go first.
As is traditional. I haven't had that for a while. Right, so for my cocktail, as I've mentioned, my favourite character in the game is Black Lotus, who's potentially the Dread Pirate Roberts, who's gone off and lived for 10 years in a Japanese ninja dojo and been completely unaware of the secret society of assassins that's based there.
Mm.
Not a bright spark. So,
well, Japanese is his second language, mate. I mean, come on.
That's fair. And he does speak Japanese in the game.
Yeah,
all the characters speak Japanese and it's all subtitled, which is one of the things that I love about it.
Yeah. I
would have liked to have had the one European character speaking in his native tongue, but it's not the end of the world. At least they're not speaking with American accents. When they're all Japanese. It is
noted in his character information that he speaks fluent Japanese and has fully embedded himself in the culture. So,
well, there we go. Covered. Absolutely covered.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about that. I found on diffordsky.com a drink called Black Irish.
Oh, okay.
Which is basically a White Russian, weirdly. So it's 30ml of Kettle One vodka.
Right.
30ml of Irish cream liqueur. So Baileys. I guess. And then 30ml of Kahlua.
Oh, okay.
But there's another ingredient on this which confuses me and also makes me think I really want to try this. 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. You've piqued my interest. It's an alcoholic ice cream. Yeah, I'm on board. I want to give this a go. This sounds really nice.
That is pretty good, yeah.
It's like an alcoholic slushy. I've always thought that'd be an amazing thing to get.
What do they call it? It's a float, isn't it, when you put ice cream in a drink?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. It sounds very sweet, is what that sounds. Really sweet. Because
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Baileys, I've got to be honest, but I think the Kahlua will sort of temper that a bit. That should be pretty good. In fact, I'm pretty sure I could give this a go as well.
Yeah.
I don't currently have any vodka, but it's very easy to get.
Oh, yeah. Like,
served in a hurricane glass, it looks a bit like a pina colada.
I once remember seeing a recipe for a White Russian that used Baileys in it.
Oh, no, it's the worst one.
Honestly, mate, when I read that noise that you just made is what I heard in my head. Not me doing it, you doing it. That's genuinely what went through my head.
I can picture my mate Dave grimacing.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave's blood running cold. That's what
Yeah, perfect.
That's I mean, yeah. That's definitely a summer drink. that's not.
I don't know. Well, yeah, for the cold aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be cold. I mean, sorry, did you say how it's made other than dumping 2 scoops of ice cream in it?
Blend the ingredients.
Oh, okay.
With a 12-ounce scoop of crushed ice. That feels unnecessary to me. Pour into a glass and serve with straws. I'd say serve with a fucking spoon. Dust with chocolate powder.
It does sound like the best McDonald's milkshake ever, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It got that vibe about it.
Yeah, it's an Irish McFlurry. It's not a community recipe, from what I can see.
Huh.
But there's no review of it. I mean, it just says, like a very sweet alcoholic frozen cafe latte, which makes me not want to try it. That's a combination of words I don't like.
I mean, it's a lot of words in one sentence. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, no review, no comments, really. So, just as it is.
Well, you'll have to make it, mate, and add a comment.
I will give that a go. Because the rate, in fact, there's 2 ratings, and it's sitting at 3 stars currently. I'm guessing that's someone who loves it, someone who hates it.
You reckon that's what it is?
Yeah.
I mean, we will
I reckon
never
that's
know.
somebody who tried it and thought, oh, this is really, really nice. And somebody who just looked at the ingredients and went, that's getting 1 star. That can fuck off.
Not on my watch, sunshine.
Yeah. I will see this removed from Differ's Guide.
Oh, fucking hell. That was the Black Irish, you said.
Yes, Black Irish.
I'm immediately put in mind, when you say that, weirdly, of... So what we haven't talked about this game. So I got confused in my research of other games from Lightweight and played a bit of Way of the Samurai, which is a very different game to Sword of the Samurai.
Yes, it's a good game.
It is.
I had it. I've still got it.
I remember it. Do you know what? I remember it from the time, and this is not what I was starting to say actually, but I remember seeing your little heart break when you realised that you could juggle characters in it when you were fighting.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the light in your eyes go a little bit dimmer. But it's a very, very cool game.
It is very odd.
Yes, and much like, as we mentioned earlier, Bushido Blade being set in a very modern environment, despite its very old school, that some of the outfits are very old fashioned and all that sort of stuff. Way of the Samurai, like the first friendly NPC you meet is basically Eddie Gordo from Tekken. He is like a 6'4" black guy with a massive afro.
Yeah,
and it's a little bit of a culture shock. It's a little bit like
the game's very specifically set in the 18th century at the end of the Shogun era.
Yeah,
where it started to transition to a central government.
Yeah,
the entire plot of the game is based around it. But yeah, I think they chucked that in there as a reference to Afro Samurai, the anime series.
Do you think is that order correct? Is that?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think Afro Samurai might be I remember thinking Afro Samurai a bit more recent than Way of the Samurai.
Not a clue.
Interesting shout though.
Well, there's Samurai Champloo, which is around the same time as well.
Oh, no, it's interesting. But it is, yeah, it is an odd thing.
Yes. It stands out.
Yes, it's also pretty cool. Yeah, that was an aside. I'm now completely lost. We're doing my cocktail, aren't we? That's where we are.
Yes, we're on to your cocktail now.
At the risk of referencing a game other than this one, I went for the Showdown cocktail. Safe in the knowledge that we are never going to do Samurai Showdown because neither of us particularly have played it or like it. I can't speak about whether Samurai Showdown is any good or not. I've not really played it. But that is, I think, if I'm brutally honest, that's why the Showdown really came into my brain when I saw it as a good representation of Bushido Blade, because it is, every fight is a showdown in the proper sense. It's not just a bout of a fight, it's a proper showdown. It's coming down to you or me, one of us is not walking out of this bamboo glade with our legs intact. And I can't claim that it's anything other than the name that I went for. It does sort of on the theme of your cocktail as well. It is sort of specifically supposed to be Irish whiskey that you use to make it. 45ml of, plus 15ml of lime juice and 15ml of pineapple juice, and 15ml of simple syrup, 2 dashes of Angostura bitters, garnished with dried pineapple. This isn't on Difford's currently. It will be. I'm going to add it. I took a very nice picture of it when I made it earlier. I did mention before that we're adding a comment to the recipes that we use, saying that we used them on a podcast episode. A little bit of cross promotion, basically, to use a technical term, which is very, very lovely of the guys at Difford to let us do that. I will go back and I'll do it for all our old episodes. It will be more the drinks that I've chosen than the drinks that Dave has chosen, because Dave hasn't actually drunk many of the drinks that Dave has chosen.
Fuck off.
Stop me when I'm wrong, Dave.
Definitely had your can of Skull shotgunned on a curve and got an end. And I've had far more Daves than you've ever had.
Well, that's very true. Very true. And those ingredients that I just mentioned for the showdown, shove it in a shaker, shake it up, put it in a tumbler, basically, a short glass with a big chunk of ice, as we like to do for a tumbler cocktails, and drink it. It's really, really nice. It's one of those alchemy cocktails where the whiskey, the lime juice and the pineapple juice combine to make it like a new flavour. It's really quite surprising. I love it when that happens. And it is really good. When I first made it and I accidentally left out the sugar syrup and it wasn't anywhere near as nice. So don't do that. Follow the recipe is basically what I'm saying.
Read the fucking manual.
Yeah, but what I did do... So it was originally attached to Sexton Whiskey, an Irish whiskey maker called Sexton, and it was on their website. But it's not anymore. But it does that thing where, like, the start of the page still shows up on Google.
Oh yeah, like a cached view.
Yes, exactly. But rather than Angostura bitters, it says cardamom bitters. It's pretty much the last thing that's on the page before it disappears. So I just muddled 3 cardamom seeds into the bottom of it and then put the Angostura bitters in as well. I couldn't taste it, so I'm not sure if it really did anything, but it might be something. I might add it to the recipe when I put it on Difford's, maybe a few more. Maybe my cardamom pods are looking a little bit ropey and old, so maybe we need some fresh ones, but I do like the taste of cardamom. But I couldn't find the original recipe from Sexton anywhere. There is a guy called The Whiskey Nerd. Hey to you, I found you on Reddit, you've got a YouTube channel. I might drop you a little message or something to say thanks because you recreated it and allowed me to add it as my cocktail for Bushido Blade.
Very good. I'm sceptical.
Are you?
It's the whole whiskey and fruit juice thing that I don't like.
Yeah, it's kind of the whiskey sour area of drinks. I found a fair few drinks called the Bushido something or other. Couldn't make any of them. There's a drink called the Bushido. There's a drink that looks really nice called Bushido in a glass. Which I thought I was going to be able to make, but the final ingredient is some sort of grape juice concentrate. Basically, I watched, there is look it up, it's on YouTube, Bushido in a glass, and it is a Japanese video, so it's not in Japanese. It's a Japanese made by somebody in Japan making a cocktail in Japanese with the subtitles in Japanese and all the comments are in Japanese. So it's a Japanese. So I was taking screenshots and then running them through Google to translate what the subtitles were saying. And I was like, I've got that. Oh, fuck. Some sort of weird grape juice thing. But that looked really good. But yeah, have a look, and you might be able to make them yourself. There's a few of them around Bushido, cocktails with Bushido in the name, and Samurai for that matter. Yeah. Unfortunately, every single one I found, I didn't have the ingredients to make. But I think I can definitely recommend the showdown. Garnished with some dried pineapple on the side of the glass. Bizarrely, also, it was just one of those things where, not only you go down, you go, I've got all these ingredients. Fuck me, I've actually got dried pineapple as well. So,
have you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Gemma owns a dehydrator, and if you leave anything lying on the side anywhere, you'll find it desiccated in the morning. The thing with a garnish is the right garnish, and this is definitely the case with the dried pineapple, is that you can smell it as you're drinking. And I don't know how much that is, I think, and especially, you know, when you spritz things on a glass or put things on the rim of a glass, they're there to be sort of tasted and inhaled.
Yeah.
I do think a lot of the time with a garnish, having that aroma as part of the drinking experience, it's worth doing. I really do think, I know it's a bit fancy and lots of people just won't bother because it's a bit of faff. I think it's worth doing because it really was nice having that drink and having that little whiff of pineapple. And, you know, it's dried, so it's wheat and it's a little bit more sweet and it's a little bit more pungent than it would be otherwise. I reckon giving it a go. Obviously, you know, a lot of people aren't going to have dried pineapple knocking around their house, so it's not the end of the world. But I recommend, if you can, put it on there.
Yeah.
And that'll about do us, I think, for... I adore Bushido Blade. I'm glad we finally got round to doing an episode on it. Not least because I've been playing it all week and remembering how much I love it and how brilliant it is. And I hope if you listened to us and you've not played it before, I hope this inspires you to go and give it a look. It runs brilliantly on every emulator out there because it's 30 years old. So why the hell wouldn't it?
Give Kengo a try as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Which also now it still baffles me that PlayStation 2 emulation is now as easy as SNES emulation.
It has been for like 20 years.
I know, that's just a symptom of my age, sadly. I'm still boggles my mind. Believe it or not, next time out, it is our 50th episode. 50. Somehow, a couple of Muppets have got together and managed to churn out 50 podcast episodes without falling out.
Getting bored and wandering off.
Exactly.
Forgetting about it. Just every Thursday, we're recording. What? I'm at the pub.
And so next time out, we are succumbing to the listicle. We are doing 50...
It's come to this. A cocktail mode clip show.
Yeah. You're going to hear us talk about 50 fantastic retro video games. It's going to be a long one, so buckle in, prepare yourself. We've done the maths. We could, for the first time ever, break the 2-hour mark, but if it does break it, it won't be by much, so please don't run away scared into the hills. And remember, you've got a pause button. You can come back anytime.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that'll be next time on Cocktail Mode, where gaming and alcohol are in our blood.